Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Zenith Gymnastic Bodies Puerto Rico. This is episode 2, continuation to abdominals, how to develop core strength. In this episode, we're going to be focusing on the abdominals per se. If you're having trouble lifting up from the floor, this is going to be an excellent supplementary exercise. That, though redundant, it just pairs so well. Like, you can recover so well from it, and also the movements are transferable. So it's not like you have to completely learn a new set of movements for the abdominals, because the abdominals only do one thing. They're going to bring these 2 points together. Okay, so fret not, and let us see. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm arching and contracting my abdominals, focusing on moving my hip. Okay, so there's essentially 2 different directions that we can, or two directions that I'm going to be demonstrating here on how to activate your core. One of them was with articulating the hip and not moving the upper body. And as you can see from this variation, it's with moving the upper body and not the lower body. And here we have Mariela doing a variation of the same exercise, but as a static hold. And she was a little bit stronger. No, she was strong enough to do only this variation with the legs down as a warm-up and then work into her hollow holds. But I had her do these exercises as the focus of her core training for the first month or 2 months, so that they could get the physical connection of bringing this point, which is the bottom of your sternum, as close to your pelvis as possible. That is what makes this area contract, and that is the reason muscles develop. Muscles develop because they are contracted. So if you do not have a defined physique yet, it's just simply because you are not contracting in the proper way. Okay, so as a warm-up, I recommend that you do these series of exercises. Number 1, the pelvic tilts, so that you can understand the role of the abdominals and how it feels like to have your abdominals contract without your upper body moving, and then how to contract your abdominals without your lower body moving and only your upper body moving. The reason that I put my hands here on my chest is because if I put them behind my neck and my core gets tired, I'm going to start yanking on my neck. Okay, so as you can see, we're going to rewind this for a second. You can tell that as soon as Mariela internalizes that she is going to begin the exercise, I want you to look at these 2 points right here. These are the abdominals. Bam, bam. Okay, see, they contract and they get closer. She's going to try and lift the shoulders off the floor and push a little bit forward with her arms, but essentially that's it. The only difference between this variation and the variation that Mariela was doing is just simply lifting the legs off the floor. That'll make the lower abdomen contract a little bit harder, so it can keep the legs up. I don't want the legs to go fully 90 degrees. I would actually prefer if Mariela had her knees instead of here. I would want her knees to be right here. That way, instead of having a straight up and down angle to the leg, there's more of an angle, so it can put a little bit of pressure on the abdominals. Okay, so if you're not comfortable doing the tuck-ups, my recommendation is keep doing them anyway, because they're like squats. They just keep on giving, even if they're done improperly. But while they get shored up, while you're working on them, I want you to focus on doing this series of exercises either with your legs on the floor or off the floor. It is not important where you start. What is important is that you begin, okay, and that we begin with the end in mind. If the end in mind is to eventually do them with your legs up, and right now you need to have your legs on the floor, that is totally fine. We're going to do that for as long as it takes to take your feet off the floor. And then after we have our feet off the floor and at a bent angle, we're going to start reaching our feet forward, all the while maintaining contact with the lower back on the floor. This is one of the most important things that we want to do on this exercise. The abdomen is always engaged so that the lower back is touching the floor and not the upper back. Okay, if the lower back is arched, that means that the abdominals are not contracting. And what did we say earlier? If the abdominals are not contracting, then the muscles will not be developed. Okay, so I hope that information is helpful to you. I see a lot of people do core exercises improperly and they complain about lower back pain and they don't have abdominals to show for it simply because they aren't doing the contractions. Okay, so that concludes this second episode on how to develop core strength. In our next episode, we're going to be covering how to develop the obliques, and then followed by some mobility exercises for the abdominals, obliques, essentially the entire spine. So I hope this information was useful to you and it'll help serve you in making your fitness goals a reality. See you in the next episode and have a nice day.